Hey everybody, what's going on? Thanks for swinging by. I sure do appreciate it. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Welcome to Fit and Fire. Let's get into this video. This time we're going to be talking about the Smith and Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. And this is a pistol that I have been interested in for, since its release. It released last year in 2024. But to be honest with you, I haven't been very excited or enthusiastic to bring you a video. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that this is chambered in 380. Now, before we get going on this, I just need to make sure you guys know that I have not ever had a really good experience shooting a 380 pistol. They've always been real snappy, regardless if that's like a Glock 42 or a Walther PPK or a Ruger LCP. Whatever it is, 380 just has not been enjoyable to shoot. However, I will say that a number of you reached out to me on the different social media platforms. So if you guys are interested in following me, you kind of get a opportunity to look behind the curtain a little bit and kind of see what's coming up in the upcoming videos. Some of you reached out to me and asked me, hey, what do you know about the Bodyguard 2.0? Can you give me your thoughts? Are you going to do a video? And I was like, oh, man, to be honest with you, I don't know. I just really don't know anything about it. But I also will say that I have talked about this with my good buddy Greg from OG's Danger Show. We talked about it last year. He was fairly impressed by it. Several months ago, he did a video on it, which I will leave on a card at the end. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, swing by and check out that video. But this ended up at my local shop, and based off of our previous conversations and then his video and then me calling him up again and just being like, wait, what do you think? He was like, yes, definitely jump on that. You might be surprised. So that's how we got to here. With that being said, here's my full disclosure statement. I'm not getting paid to say anything good, bad, or indifferent when it comes to this pistol by Smith and Wesson or anybody else. I purchased this on my own from my local shop, American Cash Exchange, so I do appreciate their support. They're a huge supporter of my channel and help me do a lot of these videos. But they had this available for a ridiculous price. It was like $350, pretty much fairly new in the box. And it even came with this holster that we have here. This is from a company called Tolster. I don't know anything about that company, but this holster seems to be pretty nice. Has a nice wrap on here. Yeah, retention on it's real good, so draws really easily. So if you're interested in a holster for this, if you want to pick one of these up, that would be an okay option, I guess. But they had this pretty inexpensive at the shop, and so I jumped on it. So there's all of that. But real quick, let's say a huge thank you to this video sponsor, and that's going to be XS Sights. If you guys are interested in upgrading your sights, regardless if that is on your favorite Glock 19 or Walther PDP or M&P 2.0, whatever the case may be, they have a number of different options to include stuff for your lever action guns, your AR-15s, and AK-47s, which is actually pretty surprising and pretty cool at the same time. If you guys are interested in picking something up, I do have a discount code for 20% off that is linked to my podcast, the Live, Laugh, Larp podcast. So using the code LARP will get you 20% off your entire purchase. So again, thank you to XS Sight for not only supporting the podcast, but this video. And let them know that we sent you, save some money at the same time. So let's jump into it and talk about some of the things that I really do like about this. And first and foremost is the fact that very much like the P365, this is going to have pretty good ammo capacity. This is going to have a 12-round magazine with a bit of a pinky extension on there. And then it's also going to have a flush-fitting 10-round magazine as well. Even with the 10-round magazine, this thing fits my hand pretty good. As you can see, this thing is about the size of my hand, and I have like Doug Flutie size hands, so this thing is really small. It's like comically small. But at the same time, one of the things that really surprised me is the fact that this was not snappy to shoot at all. Taking it to the range, I was expecting it to be real snappy like the Glock 42 or the Ruger LCP. And it really wasn't. It was very easy to control, and I had an enjoyable time at the range shooting this. The other great thing, too, is the fact that after I got done with the range, I went and saw my dad. And he's been a profound
Seems a lot
influence in my
closer than
life
7
when it
yards.
comes to firearms. And he's been interested in this, but he's getting up there in age. He'll be
So we're gonna do
78
a
this year,
5-round build
and
drill.
he's lost some dexterity and strength in his hands.
That's all I got.
But as mentioned, he was interested in this, so I swung by, showed him, and to see him be able to rack this on his own, I thought that was pretty
Alright, here we
cool.
go.
So
Beep.
very easy to control, very easy to manipulate. That is really awesome to
bad.
see. The next thing is this is set up with sights. Ironically, we talk about excess sights, and this is set up with high-vis front, blacked out rear, and actually you wouldn't need to change out the sights on this, I would say, but these sights are set up exactly how I like them. Some really nice slide serrations. It's got really good grip texture all over the place. And then the trigger on this is actually pretty surprising as well. So here is your take up right here. Not too bad. Pretty much what you expect from a polymer frame striker fire pistol. And then your brake is really nice and crisp. Reset a little long, but loud, audible, tactile. And your brake again. So pretty decent trigger on this. I'm not sure, I would say probably about 5.5 pounds on the trigger weight, but here's what the gauge says right here so you guys can see. And yeah, been really cool to shoot. I've really enjoyed it. Now, I'm going to have tons of information in the pinned comment down below, so definitely check that out. And there's going to be some additional information on this as far as its specs goes. A link to the Live Laugh Larp podcast and discount codes and all that type of stuff. So definitely check that out. Now let's talk about some of the things that I'm not really, I don't want to say that they're bad things. I'll say they're critiques. But the first thing was my hands were like really dirty when I got done shooting this, especially here on my palm where it interfaces the slide and the frame. That was one that I wasn't expecting. And I don't know if it's because of the design of the pistol or if it was the ammunition that I was using. I was using 95 grain FMJ Remington green and yellow box. And a lot of you might be, oh, Mark, man, that stuff is just dirty than unbelief. And I'd be like, okay, sure. I don't know. But I've also ran like Perfecta and bought a whole bunch of that from Walmart back in the day, and it was really dirty. And then Perfecta made Amotech, which was also really inexpensive stuff from Walmart, and it was really dirty. Igman and Magtech, those are also really dirty too. And I've ran that stuff through tons of different types of ammo, and I've never had like carbon buildup on my palm before. So that was something I was really kind of surprised to see.
Right,
in addition to that, it did kind of dirty up the front sight a little bit as well. Is that the ammo? I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to let you guys know, just so you're aware. It may not be a big deal to you, and if it's not, that's fine, but information anyway. The next thing on this is the sights, and I think the sights were a big contributor to the accuracy that I was seeing at 10 yards. Why 10 yards? Yes, this is a defensive pistol. This is meant for bad breath distances up to like maybe 7 yards, but I do know that if I put the target at 10 yards, if there's going to be any issue with accuracy, that's where I'm going to see it on a pistol like this. The reason why I think that the sights may be the issue, not to say that I'm not the issue, I'm pretty sure there's a huge element of me in it, but the rear notch is a little wide for what I'm used to. So as you bring this up, you can get the front sight into the rear sight real easy, and I understand why they have such a wide berth in that rear sight is to get those sights aligned quickly in a defensive situation. However,
so shooting left,
if you're out at the range, you're plinking, and you just can't get it, you know, a good group, it might be because of that, because you're going to align these sights, and then you're going to have, and this is exaggerated, but you're going to have a lot of play in that rear notch for that front sight. So it may seem as if you have equal height and equal light, but you might be just a little bit off, and that's going to throw your group off as well. I had about softball to grapefruit size groups at 10 yards. So that's maybe a little me, but maybe a little bit of the pistol as well. So I was a little let down by that, but I, again, also understand that this is a defensive pistol and this is meant for fast target acquisition, fast sight acquisition for targets bad breath distances out to like 7 yards. So I get that. And for anyone who decides to get into the comments to say,
anyway, I started blasting. Bah, bah. No, I don't see so good, so I missed.
I've gotten tons of comments in the past where people are like, in a defensive situation, you're not going to find your sights, you're just going to point and shoot. If you are shooting from retention, I get that. Yes. If you are, I've been through a lot of training and shooting from retention is a thing. But if I am going to be in a situation where I have an overzealous prosecutor who is trying to convict me for a defensive shooting, or I'm in a civil case for a family who's trying to sue me because of a defensive shooting, I will never, ever say that I just pointed and shot. That's not how I'm going to do things. It's not how I train. That's not what I do when I go to the range. Every time I go to the range, I'm drawing, I'm finding my sights and making sure that my sights are on target, and I shoot. The more you train that way, the more it's going to become second nature in a defensive situation. So there you have that piece of it. Yes, this is a defensive pistol. Always find your sights. Come on, guys. The last thing that I will say, and this is a critique that probably will go on deaf ears because of the type of pistol this is, but this, in my opinion, should have a red dot cut on here. It should be capable of accepting a red dot because I honestly feel that this pistol is kind of geared towards our older crowd in the 2A community. And the reason why I say that is these sights are great. They're great iron sights, but they're pretty small. So for someone who's maybe a little bit older, has some strength issues in their hand, this is going to be ideal for them. But having a red dot on here will make it really easy for them to fire on a target, getting a fast acquisition of their red dot on target as well. So being able to pull up and find that red dot and put the thing on the thing and pull the thing is going to be ideal. Now, with that being said, there is room for a RMSC footprint on here, like a Holosun 407K. That would be ideal for this, but I would even be okay with losing my rear sight to add a red dot as well. I do know that then limits your ability to pocket carry this if you wanted to. The guys on the most recent Live, Laugh, Larp podcast talked about that as well. They're like, you would never put a red dot on here because it just defeats the purpose of a deep concealed carry piece. Sure, but for individuals who might use this for nightstand, again, some of our older people, having a red dot on here, or at least having the option to add a red dot, would be beneficial. So is it even feasible with something like this that is this small? I don't know, man. But I think that would be I think it would be value added anyway. It would hang off the sides. It'd probably make it look pretty ugly, but I would still rather have that capability. Just my thoughts on it. But I do feel that this is a really, really good option for a lot of people for their primary concealed carry pistol, but it's also a great option for a backup gun. Now, backup guns mean more than just having a secondary pistol in case your primary concealed carry pistol goes down. For me, what it means is I have my primary pistol that I carry. It's something that's going to be reliable, and it's never going to, not never, but it's rarely had any issues of like double feeding or anything like that. So I would have a backup pistol that I could carry at my 4 o'clock. We're out having a good time, me and the girlfriend. She's wearing a dress, so it's something that maybe she doesn't feel comfortable concealed carrying in the outfit that she's wearing. I could easily carry this on my 4 o'clock. Something happens, we need to defend ourselves. If I have the ability and the time, I can easily and discreetly hand this over. As you can see, I can just easily People aren't going to see what I'm doing. I can hand this over to my girlfriend. She can have something to help defend the kids with, right? Let's say that I'm not with my girlfriend. I'm with my teenage daughter. She loves to go out and shoot. I could take this with me, and this would be something that I could easily pass off to her should we get into a situation where we both need to defend ourselves. This would be very easy for her to control and to shoot. So another viable reason to have something like this on you as maybe a backup, or have something that you can use to train your kids on. So there is that. So I highly recommend this. This came recommended to me, and I'm going to say I recommend it to you guys. Some small little nitpicky things I would say that could be brushed up on, but at the very least, this ends up being a fairly decent option for a lot of people out there. So there you guys have it. With that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. You guys do a great job of letting me know what you think. But needless to say, I would love to see your comments to just chit-chat with you guys, and let me know if you guys are on the same page as me, or if there's other things that I haven't considered. Not too bad. Let me know down in the comment section down as well. Again, in the pinned comment, tons of information, tons of links. Check them out. It's a great way to support the channel. And again, it's a great way for you guys to save some money with some of the discount codes that I have down there as well. Check out the Live, Laugh, Larp podcasts. We talked about this in the most recent one, as mentioned, and it's a great way to get a couple laughs in the meantime while you're on a long road trip or something like that. So with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks so much for swinging by. I sure do appreciate everybody's support. As always, freedom through strength. Here comes a high five. Bye, y'all.